everybody, it's Brant with In My Head channel, and I'm back with another video. Welcome you back to the channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you've never been here before and this is the first video you've seen, be sure to hit subscribe and hit like if you like the video. Be sure to talk down in the comments section about what we're going to be talking about today. Today, we're getting back to this. Getting back to the Kiss box set. Everybody, before I get into the video today, I wanted to break in with some news that has broke while I was in the process of editing this video. And I don't know if you follow this page on Facebook, the Kiss My Wax page, but Jason Herndon, who runs that page, he announced that somebody during a singer auction kind of dropped that there are going to be 2 box sets coming this year and redesigned off the soundboard. And this is very exciting, interesting news. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of speculation. I've already been texting with some different people that do podcasts, and we just kind of been throwing around a bunch of ideas and speculations and dreams and desires and wish lists of what would be cool if, you know, if they did these things. Well, they're going to do these things, but what they would do, you know, you would think maybe a live, since it's due for an anniversary this year. Also, Dress to Kill is due. Is it going to get a box set? I don't know. I saw that Nicholas Buckland said that he had contributed some things, and Jason said that he had as well. See there in the comments. And then that makes me think, well, both of these guys have very extensive collections. Nicholas is an Aussie, so from Australia. And, you know, Unmasked was really big in Australia. Unmasked is also coming up on a 5-year, you know, either they do the anniversaries either like, you know, 50th, 45th or whatever. So it's either a 0 or a 5-year anniversary, and or the 5th year anniversary. And that means Asylum. That means Unmasked, or possibly Alive. I'm pretty sure Alive is going to get a box set treatment. I'd be really surprised if it's not. But anyway, this is very cool. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talk coming about over the next few months. I'm just excited that we're getting box sets. I hope we get the $250 to $300 box set treatment that we can purchase without a bundle and none of this almost $1,000 nonsense. It'd be really cool if with the off the soundboards, if they were gatefold and you put them together to make like some type of mural or a big poster or just something cool rather than just plain cardboard box. Really cool that they possibly going to be revisioning those. And I would love to see a Dynasty tour box off the soundboard. That'd be really cool for Dynasty with all those solo album songs that they have in there. Plus, it'd be really cool if it was Charlotte, 1979 Charlotte, maybe the 3rd or 4th date on the tour, because that's when I went. So yeah, so this is real exciting stuff. I'm sure we'll be doing a lot of talking about it in the future. But anyway, let's get back to what we're here to talk about. Now, I have done a lot of videos about this box set in the past, 18 videos so far. The last video I made is 3 years ago. So I stepped away from this for a little bit because I started working on some other projects. And then I also was getting some copyright strikes. I'm going to try to do this in a way that I don't get a copyright strike on YouTube. You probably won't be able to hear the music as well on the YouTube video. You will be able to hear it very well on the Patreon video because I don't have to worry about copyright strikes over there. but you may not hear the music as well on this. You may have to play along your version of the song off the box set. You can find it on YouTube. That's actually where I'm going to be listening to it from, on YouTube today, not listening to it from the CD. But this is the 19th video in this series. There's a playlist of Kiss box set reviews. This is the 19th video. We have gone through disc 1 and disc 2. So we're now approaching, or we are on disc 3. So the last video I did was a Gene Simmons video. I think it was Love is Blind, which would have been around the Love Gun series. So for those of you who don't really know much about the box set, it has a track listing right here that's just that. And so well, you already know what you're going to be looking at today. On disc 3, it starts off with Detroit Rock City, taken from Destroyer, King of the Nighttime World, taken from Alive 2, Larger Than Life, taken from Alive 2, Rocket Ride, taken from Alive 2, Tonight You Belong to Me, taken from Paul's album, New York Groom, taken from Ace's album, and then we hit track number 7, which is Radioactive, which is a demo. And I talked about how I was only really going to do the demos and react on the demos and give my thoughts. So we're doing the demo of Radioactive today. So inside the box set, the Kiss box set, you also have the merch form, which this was from those, I've said this before in past videos, this was from those Spencer gift era time. And I would have loved to have some of the stuff out of this. I didn't really buy into a lot of the merch from this era. I don't know why I didn't, but I just didn't. I didn't buy into it. So for those of you who hadn't watched other previous videos, disc 1 looks like this, and the back has Gene on it in that green face, and that is awesome. And then on the inside, it's got Gene. I'll kind of give you guys a little tour here. So I'll try to get this video to just under 30 minutes. The disc looks like that. And then the inside of the disc, it's early pictures, of course. And then it's early pictures of the band, early practice, and then early stage shot. So I love that they kept the packaging with the discs and in the vein of the disc. So on the second one of Paul, of course, and then the disc, and then Paul from the first album, which is awesome. The cover, which is the Alive, and then Destroyer on the back, on the top of the building. And then you have group photos or concert photos. You have Ace, Peter, Paul, and Gene. And then a live shot with Ace on his knees. Classic, classic, classic. And I'll go ahead and show this one. This one will probably be the one that'll probably be the only time I show them, the first two. But from videos on until I get off disc 3, we'll show disc 3. So there's a stage shot. It's Peter there. And then the disc is the black disc, disc 3. And then Peter from the first album, and that horrible makeup. And then my version of Kiss. This, when I think of Kiss, this is the Kiss I think about. Costumes, attitude, everything. The live shot, I give quotations because it's a stage live shot, but it's a very popular one. Then just Kiss as I know, love, Ace in his spaceman outfit, Peter behind that amazing drum set, singing, looking like that's the cover of the vest of the costume. Gene in front of Serpent, bleeding blood all over his chest, and Paul, the Star Child. That's my era of Kiss. So getting into, we're going to be looking at disc 3, and this is the discs on the inside. You kind of look at it's got discs on the middle and the inside. We're going to be working with disc 3. Disc 1, of course, we've already done. You can see those videos in the playlist. I'll put the playlist at the end of this video. There's disc 2. And then disc 3, you start getting into the solo albums era and stuff after that, I believe. And so disc 3, and there's disc 5. So once we get through this, we're halfway through. This is the book that comes along with, and I am going to find what we have here for this song, and then I'll take pictures and put it up on so you can see and you can read along. If you have your book, you can get your book out and read along. But let's see, let's go to, I love this photo. That's the photo that was on the makeup kit. I remember Gene's face being on the makeup kit. And let's see, go forward to Radioactive. So Radioactive Demo version, written by Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons played lead guitar, rhythm guitar, bass guitar, drums, piano, lead vocals, background vocals. Katie Segal and the girls from the group with no name. That's who is all on the demo, produced by Gene Simmons, previously unreleased demo. Gene says, towards the end of 1977, I started writing a lot more. I remembered how the word radioactive seemed to conjure two different ideas. One, that something is dangerous, and the other, that radio stations used, meaning songs were played a lot on the radio. So I decided to discard both ideas and simply apply it to a girl, that the girl is radioactive and gives us sort of sexual energy. I tried to get the guys to come in and help me work on the demo for Radioactive, but it was a day off. I couldn't blame anybody for not wanting to come down to the studio. So when I went in to do the demo, I actually found myself sitting in front of the drum sets, keyboards, and guitars, doing all the parts myself, including the singing. Later on, I was offered the opportunity to produce Jerry Lee Lewis, and I thought that Radioactive would be a great song for him. I met with a record company A&R guy who liked the idea, and as I was preparing to meet with Lewis about the song, our manager, Bill LaCoin, didn't think I should be producing any artists while I was in KISS, which he ended up going on doing that anyway. I eventually recorded Radioactive on my solo record, where Jerry Lee Lewis eventually did come down anyway to put keyboard parts, unfortunately arriving too late. Bob Seger helped me sing the choruses of Radioactive, and Aerosmith's Joe Perry eventually played the solo. So there's the picture for that you've been looking at. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I will say about Radioactive, I do like the song Radioactive. It's one of my favorite songs on Gene's very misunderstood solo album, but I like the song. I think it's a great song. So let's go ahead and listen to this, and I'm going to stop along the way, and if you hear the sound go down on the YouTube track, it won't go down on the Patreon track, but if you hear it go down, it's because I've tried to put it up, got a copyright strike, and had to pull volume down. So let's check it out. Let's listen to it. Let's hear how it goes. And I am going to stop if I want to talk about something, so get over it. All right, so I'm stopping before we get into the chorus. No big none of that at the beginning, because that was all, I think, Sean Delaney that did all that. The big introduction that basically makes Radioactive what it is to us. But I've just noticed that this so far, this is very faithful to the album. It starts off, doesn't have the solos and stuff. Gene's kind of soloing. You can hear that Gene's not a soloist, but he's doing his best. And this would be a song that I wouldn't think for somebody like Gene would be very hard to demo, because he is a good musician. He can play drums. We know that. Him and Paul both can. We know that they can play, Paul and Gene both can play multiple guitars. They can play bass. They can play rhythm. They can play lead. So they are very well at doing demos on their own. So is Ace. About the only one that probably can't do a demo on their own would be Peter. But so far, I like the way this sounds. It has a demo-ish quality, but I've heard the people talk about how Gene's album itself is just demos that they cleaned up. And I've heard that more than once. So far, this sounds kind of true to the album. I've not heard anything added or anything taken away. The intro was maybe a little longer. I'm not sure. But so far, going into the chorus, this sounds pretty good. Okay, so right there's the first difference. He here goes into "She's my little baby, she's such a lady," probably is what he's going to say. At that point in time, he goes back into, he doesn't extend that chorus on the album. He goes into the second verse. I'm crazy, kind of hazy. He goes back into the chorus instead of, he goes back into the verse, the second verse, instead of extending the chorus, is what I'm trying to say. So there's a little bit of a difference there that is not on the actual recorded album version. Is the first verse, the first chorus is longer and it delays going into the second verse, where on the album, he goes straight into that second verse after not really doing the chorus. But it's not doing the chorus more than once, it's expanding on the chorus. It's like the first time on the album, the chorus is cut short, and then it's extended after the second verse. So let's get back into it. One thing I've noticed is there's a couple little word changes. He's saying your, and in the actual album, he says she. So he does make a couple little pronoun changes, you or she or whatever. He does make a couple little word lyrical changes. But I'll say so far, I'm actually impressed. The quality of it is pretty good. Gene playing all the instruments sounds good. The rhythm is good. And, it's just basic. But this sounds very, very good to be a demo. And I like that there are some little minor changes to it that are kind of surprises. So let's get back into it. I'm curious what it's going to do here. Okay, goes into the "She's my little baby, she's such a lady." I think that's how the original album goes. I know there's a solo here somewhere. I'm curious to see how the solo is going to sound because he's not Joe Perry. Very curious about the solo. So let's see where we go from here. Okay. Not bad for Gene. The beginning, the doo 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 doo, that kind of sound like a European ambulance. But the rest of the solo was actually pretty good for Gene, and I hate to say that for Gene because he's not known to be a guitarist or a lead guitarist. Plays rhythm on a lot more songs than people realize, especially his. But that was not a bad solo. So we're at a minute and 51 seconds into a 3-minute and 9-minute song. I kind of wonder if this is we don't have much substance after this. Basically, it goes just into repeating the chorus over and over and over. Hopefully this isn't a chorus repeat for another 3 minutes or for another minute and 20 seconds, which is kind of how it does on Gene's album. But let's see how we go out from here. Okay. Repeating of a chorus. I actually like that. Yeah. I wished he would have kept that. I wished he would have kept that. That is awesome. Sometimes I hear stuff in demos and I'm like, man, I'm glad they cut that. I'm glad they didn't do that way. So far, everything I've heard about this demo, he could have done it exactly this way on the album. And like I said, I know I've said it before, but I'm super impressed by the fact that Gene's playing everything on this and doing everything except for the background. He's actually even singing background. You can hear it. It's like him and other people are singing the background. And I think that's awesome that this is 98% Gene. And it's very true to the original, to the finished product. But I love that. Yeah. And he didn't start in singing. The background singers are singing the chorus. So we got about 40 seconds left. So let's hear what we got going out. I'm assuming it's just going to be rinse and repeating all the way out from here. But let's listen and see if there's any surprises. Yes, that's basically it, and it's just going to fade out from there. I actually like that ending. One of the things that gets me not only about Radioactive, but about a lot of songs on Gene's album where the meat of the song might have been kind of thin, so there was some fat placed on in the appearance of repeating a chorus over and over and over and over to get that song to the 3-minute mark or over the 3-minute mark. Is just that repeating of that chorus over and over and over. I think I counted one time on one of Gene's songs where the chorus was repeated like 5 times. Maybe might have been Burning Up with Fever. 5 or 6 times. And to me, that's a little excessive. But what I liked about what they did with this is once Gene goes, yeah, he's done. He doesn't say anything else. And then it's you hear the piano and the rhythm guitar, and you every so often the background singers go radioactive, and then they don't say radioactive again until it's time to say radioactive. There's no singing of the chorus. There was no singing of the chorus, and the chorus being repeated over and over and over. So you get an opportunity to listen to the music. You get to hear the rhythm guitar, get an opportunity to hear the piano in there. That'd been really cool if Jerry Lee Lewis would have actually been able to put a piano part in there. That would have been real cool if that would have made it to the final album. But maybe had a little bit more solos going through all of that on the finished product on the album. I think that would have been really great. I probably would have liked that a little better. You know, keeping the part that Sean Delaney made at the beginning and having this version of this song just as it is, in the repetition that it is, in the styling that it is, and Gene going, yeah. And it kind of reminds me of that. And that's why it's great to be me. You know, that voice he says it in. That just holds that charismatic, yeah, I know who I am. And but I love it. I wish this would have been the product that we got, just dressed up in production value, but even the production value is pretty good. But then just with not all the extra, kind of stripped down end dragging out, or not dragging out, but trailing out the end. Because I don't feel this is drug out at all, which is only 3 minutes and 9 seconds. So that's it. That's Radioactive. I like it. But I do want to show a couple of things that might not have been necessarily from this era, but I want to I want to show a little bit about my collection in the back during my videos, because I've had some people say, you never really show what you have. So, and when I make videos about specifically those things, a lot of times they don't get a whole lot of views. So I figure I'll kind of incorporate them into the videos. So this is a piece of merch that would have, it's not really merch, it's actually from the Kiss Coffee House. This is pistachio, pyro pistachio. Get it in there. And this was from 2006. So this would have been a pistachio flavored coffee. And yeah, it's sealed. Never been opened. Probably won't ever be opened. I doubt if this many years later, being 2025, if this is actually still any good. Can't even really, oh, you squeeze it. You can't smell it. It still smells like coffee. And of course, if you've got your coffee, then you need your Kiss coffee cup. And this is a coffee house coffee cup as well. This has a date of 2007 on it. Try to get it where you can see it there. And then on the back side, it says Kiss Coffee House, Myrtle Beach. And it's got the date there. So, and it's a weighted coffee cup. It's got the weighted bottom to it. So kind of era specific merch there. So there you go. There's part of the collection for today. Now I got to remember to keep up with what I've shown and what I hadn't shown, but I don't think it'll really matter because I'm coming up on year 7 of being a channel, and I'm going to be working back through some of my reviews, some of my early reviews, and I'll be putting out some of those here and there to kind of how would I have done this differently, or oh wow, look how terrible this was, or oh look, this cool intro that I was using during that time. Look at the different places I've moved in and out of several times. So that's going to be real fun. So we're looking forward to that. So that is it for this video. The next video will be episode 20. And let's see, next on the track 8 is Don't You Let Me Down from Peter. I Was Made from Loving You from Dynasty. Sure Know Something from Dynasty. Shandy from Unmasked. And then we have a previously unreleased demo of You're All That I Want, You're All That I Need from Unmasked. And it's going to be interesting to see what I'm going to think about You All That I Want, You All That I Need, because I'm not the biggest fan of the song. I know some people are. I like Unmasked as a whole, but I'm not exactly the biggest fan of that song. So we will see how I feel about the demo. Anyway, that's all for this one. I am glad that you joined. Like I said, if you are not a subscriber, be sure to hit subscribe. I am repping Eric Carr today in my Click Tea Shop shirt. Ed over at Click Tea Shop. I'm repping Eric. Speaking of shirts, I have shirts. If you look right down below this video, you'll see shirts. You can go to my, just click on any of those. You can buy shirts, buttons, stickers, whatever. You can join my Patreon. You can join my YouTube membership. You get exclusive videos. You get longer videos. You get videos that have more music in them, so I don't get all kinds of strikes on YouTube. And depending on what level you join at, you get different things. So that's there if you want to do that. Anyway, that's all I've got for this one. Thank you so much for everybody who's been with me for almost 7 years. I started in February 7 years ago, but it's near the end of this month. So I will have a 7-year anniversary video near the end of this month in about 3 weeks that will begin with me going back and revisiting 7 year in the past Brent, and talking about the first Kiss album. And then we'll work our way up through the Kiss albums to see if I still feel the same about those albums. And just looking at my different intros, looking at my different sets, and talking about maybe if I'd have done things different, if I could have. You know, anyway, that's all I've got for this one. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.